Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. I'm actually coming to you a date early because we have a lot of things that actually have to be done tomorrow that I didn't realize were going to have to be done tomorrow until late enough tonight that we can't do them tonight. So, versus trying to rush around tomorrow and get it all done, I'm going to go ahead and do my video tonight. So I hope that's okay with everyone. But, I mean, it's late enough. It's close. I do have coffee, though. We had a Blue Norther come in. So it went from, literally this morning, it was in the 70s, and I was walking around in this t-shirt and a scarf. I had a hoodie with me, but I was walking around in this t-shirt and my bacon and eggs scarf, and around 3 o'clock, it started dropping. We left from his best friend's house. She lives about 20 minutes south of us. When we left there, it was 64. By the time we got home, it was 52. And it is now currently 26 degrees outside. This is the coldest it has been since January of 2015. Our dog was more than a little confused because it suddenly got very cold. And he was not anticipating that. But we've discovered he likes the cold. He really wanted to run around. God help us all. Yeah. It slid away from me. Okay. So, we of course have the Advent box. We've got some Q&A. We've got haul. We've got whip updates. We've got Oz. We've also got a thing that I'm going to do next year. So diving right on in. Alright, so I guess first off, we'll do the good old Q&A and comments. Let's see, thanks to everyone who wished us all to be better. Those are always appreciated. Let's see. Alright, this question I don't know if I answered already. So, oh, and I'm doing the phone thing again. So, we're gonna hope that it's bright enough. Well, I accidentally cut off the video. I was fiddling trying to make it a little brighter, but we're gonna hope that since it should be good. So, I accidentally cut the video off, and I feel bad for that. I'm trying again. Okay, screw it. Hopefully this is bright enough. If it's not, someone say so in the comments. Yeah. Okay, so first question may have been answered last week. I don't remember. I don't think so. Let's see. So, Nancy Ascroft asked, am I hoping that Santa brings me stash for Christmas? Are you hoping for anything specific? The answer is no. I'm hoping for money to go buy stash with, but my stash acquisitions, if you will, I do better picking those out. Like, occasionally I'll be like, you know what, I would like this one specific thing, but generally I prefer to go do it myself. So I'm hoping for money or gift cards to 123 Stitch, but that's it. But I'm not hoping for anything specific. Let's see. Ann Tinsley asks, do I have a written inventory of my Oz memorabilia? No, I do not. Mostly because I'm really pretty darn good at remembering what I do and don't have. Very rarely do I buy something that I already have. I'm pretty good about that. So no, I don't, but I'm also really specific in what I buy. And because there is so much of it out there, and the things that I'm currently going after are things I don't have, there's a lot less chance of that happening. Yay for the people who loved fairy tale theater. Um, Danny B, I like the suggestion of the cute cloth bag. I actually think I'm going to try and put it on a sweatshirt. And then I think I'm going to make it into an ugly Christmas sweatshirt. And it's going to be fabulous. Let's see. Eden Selinsky at Stitchy Student asks how I plan to finish the Brooks Books Princess collection. Currently, I'm thinking maybe pillows, but I don't really know. I may put them all together and make a patchwork quilt of sorts out of them. I don't know yet. It's going to kind of depend on what I think when they're all done and how they all look together. So I don't really have a definite answer yet, but that's where I'm leaning towards. Kelly Bell Stitches, I still do love Dover. The Stitch Niche does not have an online store. They do have a website. And it's Stitch Niche, it rhymes, but it's actually spelled Niche. Like, that's a niche market. So it's pronounced niche, but it's spelled niche. So, and I was there today. So, alright, so that's all the Q&A. Always, throw me some more Q&A. Alright, so, another sip of coffee. This one's gingerbread flavored. It's pretty good. Little thin, but pretty good. Okay, so let's go on with the haul. We'll do the advent calendar first, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out the one to open. That would be opened in the morning, but I'm gonna go ahead since I always do my live openings. Alright, so we did 12 on the air, so we've got 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Boop. Boop. Okay. Just making sure I've got everything out. I probably should have done that before, but that's okay. I also apologize for those who are audio specific. You're going to hear some paper crinkling, and there's, quite honestly, I don't think anything that I could do about that, as much as I would love to. There we go. Here's the chart. Or the picture of it. Okay, so day 13 was Sparkling Christmas Tree Chart. We've reached the halfway point in our first chart. To start, stitch up your sparkling Christmas tree, just like our model, you'll need to gather the items from the previous days. Day 1, the 28 count Valor Lugana. Day 2, Blue Spruce Wool Thread. Day 4, Happy Holidays Bead Mix. Day 11, one of the Swarovski crystals. Day 12, Woolly Bear Floss. And possibly also the Nymo thread. And it also included some sparkly gold thread for the tinsel. I think it's a Krynic. I couldn't begin to tell you which one it is. And it may not be a Krynic. It may be something completely different. Liz unfortunately did not tell us. But it came with one. So, and it's by Northern Expressions Needleworks. So, day 15 were, I'm dropping stuff. And there's not going to be a really good way to show you all of this. But I don't know how to show you this. It's buttons. It's a whole bunch of assorted red, green, and white. Like, there's a big button, and there's some translucenty colored buttons that are green and white, and some red ones, and some regular buttons, and some square buttons. It's a whole bunch of buttons. And the description says, this assortment of Christmas the colored buttons, would make fantastic button art piece, don't you think? They'd also make excellent, buttons wherever buttons may be needed. And they would. I actually skipped day 14. Day 14 is a lampwork stocking bead. This glass lampwork bead would make an excellent focal point for a scissor fob, don't you think? I just love the little gold accents on these handmade beauties. So, it's a little pretty Christmas stocking. I actually think it looks a little bit like ribbon candy, which I know a lot of people find really disgusting, but I've always liked. Day 16 was quilting fabric, and I've seen 3 different patterns out there. I got pretty reindeer and partridges in pear trees. and turtle doves. I always like to keep a selection of quilting fabric in my finishing bucket for ornaments and such. I selected a neutral fabric for today's goodie, something that's lovely in its own right, but won't distract from your fabulous stitching. So, there it is. Day 17 was accidentally misconstrued by the always fun Ginger Gerald Stitcher. I'll let y'all figure out how it got misconstrued. Day 17 is Twisted Bugle Beads. And there they are. These long beads make perfect tinsel on a stitched Christmas tree, don't you think? Your package contains approximately 2 grams of beads. And yes, they're beautiful. I love bugle beads. Fun factoid, there was actually going to be one of the early test pairs of ruby slippers was all in bugle beads. Yeah. No one knows if they still exist anymore. I would personally love to see them because I think that would be pretty fantastic looking. So I like bugle beads. And there are bugle beads in the bows on the ruby slippers, so they did end up sort of there. And then today's, well, tomorrow's, but we're going to call it today. So if someone's watching this tonight and you have Advent Box and you don't want to, don't watch for the next, like, 3.5 seconds. All right. This is a snowflake charm. Add a bit of frost to your next project with this little snowflake charm. Boop. Snowflake. All right. All right, so there we go. All right, now to get into haul. So my Christmas bonus came in this week. Those of you in Stitch Mania already saw this. Those of you not in Stitch Mania, you're finding out. My bonus was much larger than I anticipated. Much, much larger. So we put money towards she getting new glasses. We're putting a little, close to half of it to the honeymoon. But then I got to keep the other half because, you know, my Christmas bonus. So I bought myself a Lowry stand from so-and-so. I also ordered an Almanac, I hope I'm saying that right, frame and scroll rods for Giant Harry Potter and then just for other things. So I'm super excited for those. They're ordered. I'm going to guess that the Lowry stand may get here before Christmas. It may get here after. The frames will obviously probably come in January. I will do unboxing videos for those. I will probably have to enlist G's help, but I will do videos for them. So, and then the rest went to Stitch Niche. Because I believe in giving back. And once again, I want to reiterate just how awesome Andrea is doing. She's fantastic. She's so much fun. She genuinely is excited to see anyone who comes through. She's ordering what she can. She's actually, I know Katie's store, Threads That Bind, is closing. She's actually getting a lot of their stock. So she's about to have a whole bunch of Rainbow Gallery. Sorry if I'm not supposed to say that out loud already, Andrea. It may fall through, but I don't think it will. I think she's going to get it soon. So, lots of new stuff coming. I'm so excited. And I'm excited for her. So, yay Stitch Niche. So I had only an hour to spend because of the way this ended up going. But considering I was there last week, I was there this week, and I'm planning to be there on New Year's Eve, because that'll be the first day that I can go and spend my Christmas money. Hopefully. Although I'm going to go with Katie, so hopefully she'll be able to join me. If not, it may get postponed. We shall see. But I'm excited to go. Either way. Doesn't really matter. I'm excited. So, but I did some damage. Alright, so, well, we also did go to Half Price Books. So first I'll show you what I got at Half Price Books, because it's not a lot. And then I'll show you what I got at Stitch Niche. Okay, so I picked up this. It looks like it's an applique quilting book of sorts, but it was cute and it was Halloween and it was animals, and I don't know if you can, like, hand applique or not. I hope so, because I don't have a sewing machine, so there's no way in hell I'm going to be doing it that way. I mean, I have a sewing machine, but it's it's its own issue. But it was really cute, and it was $4, so why not? Then I found this Elizabeth Needleworks Nature's Alphabet that I thought was really pretty. And then I normally do not do full coverage, like in the slightest bit, but I picked up this one and actually really liked it. And it was 99 cents. So if I absolutely hate it, so what? But it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's all just going to be full crosses. But it is a Thomas Kincaid. It's The Light of Peace. It's a lighthouse. But I just really liked it. So there you go. Light of Peace. Now we get into the actual haul from Stitch Niche. Okay, so we will go through this. We'll start with charts. And then we'll do fabric, and then we'll do floss. That way I can sort of segue to the things that because I did actually kit up a project fully while I was there. So I got this first one. This is a heartstring samplery. It's called On the Oregon Trail. And I've picked it up the last couple of times I've been in there and really liked it. So finally I was like, well, I guess you're going to come home with me. So there's no dysentery, unfortunately. But it's got the Oregon Trail. I like it. So there we go. So we have the heartstring, and I thought it was really interesting. She includes a lot of history and explanation behind why she did what she did, which I thought was really interesting. So when I eventually start stitching it, that'll be brought up. Then I got from Cuore e Beticuore. I have the Halloween in Quilt, and I also now have the Christmas in Quilt. So, because I thought it was really pretty. And actually, I think it probably is going to be done. She was out of the fabric, which is why I didn't kit this one up while I was there. It's all DMC, but I would have at least gotten the fabric. I think I'm actually going to do it on maybe that raw linen with the white polka dots. I think that might be a really good match for this. But she had, like, I think a fat 16th, maybe. So I did not get it today for that reason. Now we'll get to the one that I actually did kit up, if I can ever get this back in its little packaging. Come on. Come on. Alright, this one, and they've got a model in the shop, so I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do the alternate one. The model in the shop is like the one on the... Okay. But it's Halloween from Plum Street Samplers, and so it's kind of a fall Adam and Eve, but it comes with an alternate chart that's more Halloween inspired, which is bizarre as heck to say that I'm going to do it Halloween Adam and Eve, but that's okay. So the big changes to it are where the acorn is here, it's a black cat. There's another black cat who's poking its head out from behind this little thing. I think it's a pile of leaves. All of the little orange things they're holding and all the fruit become jack-o'-lanterns. And there's a jack-o'-lantern next to Eve. I think those are the big changes. So, but I got the fabric for it. I did not get the called for fabric, actually, but I did get all the called for threads. 2 of them I already had. It's all done in Crescent Colorworks. I already had, or well, now Classic Colorworks. I already had Candy Corn and Tennessee Red Clay, so I only have to get the other ones. Well, let's see, fabric-wise, I got for it, I'm obsessed with this Witchell Joplin. I just love how thick it is and how soft it is. But this is chai tea, so it's sort of green and brown modeled, but I think it's going to be a good, because the chart was done on Vintage River Willow from Lakeside Linens, And so I think this is going to be a good, good comparison. So then I got these all sort of bundled. I got all sorts of crap. They were bundled at one point. They've kind of gotten mixed. There we go. Okay. So then I got the, oops, nope, Original Arts. No, they did not stay separated at all. I'm so sorry, folks. This is awkward. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed. I'm terrible. Don't hate me. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there is, and I will use this to help me, avocado, hickory sticks, ginger snap, German chocolate, stepping stones, khaki mocha, which is more white, and I know it's kind of showing a pink, but it's much more white, and brandied pears. So I got all that. And then, this ties into something that's coming up. I had to buy a whole bunch of Gentle Arts for a specific project. And I'm pulling out those individually so that I can show those to you. And then the rest were just because I could. Okay. Alright, so I got Endive, Garden Gate, Moss, Uniform Blue, Deep Forest, and Terracotta. Right. Well, then I also picked up the last two that I needed to fill out the letter A in Gentle Arts. So I got Apple Cider and Autumn. Then I started my bees with Baby Spinach and Baked Clay. And then I picked up these two, one because I needed one more flesh tone, and then the other because it was just pretty. I got Geranium and Peach Ice Cream. But that's not all. For Harry Potter, I got the NPI Brown that I keep meaning to buy and never have. So that way I can do the Gryffindor banner. I bought some Krynics. Let's see, I got 3280, which is sort of gold tones. 18, which is sort of a blue-gray. 23, which is a purple. 008HL, which is an emerald green. Because I'm running low on greens after all of my Oz stuff this year. 17HL. And 93. So I got one more of the stars. And I think now I've got all of the star color ranges. And then I found these. And I'm going to actually use these in the Brooks Cinderella. She's ordering me the remaining ribbon and the two remaining Krynics that I needed for it. But I've got enough to start her, so I may actually start that tonight. But I got... These are ribbon flosses from YLI. I got blue, opal, and purple. So, and I just... What I did was I matched them to the Krynics. So, there you go. So, I'm super excited to try those out. Oh, and I went to Joann's earlier this week, got all the DMC for Alice in Wonderland by Brooks, but that's not something we're seeing. And I got the pink memory thread that I needed for Cinderella. So, yes. So that's everything I got. So not a bad haul. Not a bad haul. All right, so this week's projects. Well, I worked on, and it's in the car, and I'm not going to get it right now. I did work on Paradise Lost. I got What Is This finished. So I have What Is This That Thou of the banner, and I've started on the blue of the banner. I got the section frogs that I had screwed up and finished out the middle. So it says The Night Before Christmas, and I did the Christmas in alternating reds and greens. Partially because, you know me, I like to do some changing up of things. But one of the reasons I did it is this is going to go to my grandmother. She's already laid claim to it, which is totally fine. But her first couple of Christmases, when my grandfather were first married, or at least one of them, was over in Germany. He was stationed over there. So a lot of her Christmas decorations are from early 1950s Germany. So the red and the green is very prevalent. Her Christmas tree was always done in Santas. She was a big Santa person. And as I was stitching the red and green, it just really strongly reminded me of Christmas at her house. And as longtime viewers know, I have a very strong, I don't want to say attraction, but that house, because I grew up, we never moved. So I only knew 2 houses. This is only if you don't count the dormitories in Arkansas, this is only the 3rd place I've ever lived. Really, technically the only 2nd place I've ever lived, but I went back and forth to my grandmother so often because she was only 20 minutes away that I kind of grew up in both houses. So this is technically the 3rd place I've ever lived. And she sold the house about 18 months ago, moved into an apartment just to downsize. And so that house to me is very ingrained in a lot of my memories. So it really was just a nice little thing. So there you go. Alright, so then I tried working on Beekeeper's Cottage, didn't get much of anywhere. So I really, though, wanted to work on Octopus Garden from Blackbird Designs. So I pulled it out. And as I was looking at the octopus, and I was looking at the chart and what I already had done and what I was doing, I thought, something seems wrong. I don't know what I was doing back in May. I gave myself 1/3 of an inch on the top and bottom. Normal border on the sides. Only 1/3 of an inch. Yeah. So, fortunately, I have a lot more. This is Mint from Fabrics by LJ. I have more of the fabric. I wasn't really pleased with her DMC conversion, so that's why I bought the General Arts. I bought what I didn't already have. So I bought those. So that's going to be one I will restart probably here soon. But I just went, well, hell. So I spent most of this week working on Snow White. I was not very productive this week. This was a very non-productive week. But given how productive last week was, I'm not surprised. So I did finish the Queen, or the old hag. I did leave her hair red. And then I worked on the apple. It took me 3 days to do the apples, mostly because the first Wednesday when I was stitching, I didn't really do a lot of stitching. And Thursday, I was distracted because I was talking about Oz with my friend Sarah. Not the Sarah who stitches, but a different Sarah. But I did at least do that. And then I started on the dwarf, and then I was like, you know what, I'm really ready to move on to something different. But I really love those apples. And I had a lot of fun really doing that square. And I started in on the dwarf. So, I'm really, really enjoying this. I've decided what I'm gonna do with these is as I finish one, I'll start another. So, after I finish Snow White, I'm gonna start Little Mermaid. Hopefully the fabric from which will have arrived at Stitch by then. She's had a little bit of trouble getting some of the even weaves in. But she is working on getting more even weave in stock because partially because people are asking for it, including myself. But we're discovering, or she's discovering as she goes along, that there are holes that there shouldn't have been. So she's trying to get things stocked up. So if you've been in Stitch Niche and haven't found things you were looking for, keep checking back because she really is stocking as much as she can without killing herself. So she's doing a really kick-ass job. I genuinely cannot say enough good things. So, like I said, stop in. You'll be glad you did. So that's the whip update. So, this week I think I am probably going to go ahead and start the Brooke Cinderella after the video. We'll see. I say that, and I may end up just going back to Snow White the way I've been going lately. Or I may start something. I may start Halloween, or I may restart Octopus Garden. God only knows with me. Because I've basically kind of done. I've gone through most of the whips that I have. None of them are really calling to me. At least things that I haven't already touched this month. So God only knows what I'm going to do. This is me we're talking about. So, anyway, now we're going to switch gears over to Oz stuff. First things first, one of my commitments in the new year, and I sort of said I was working on something. I am going to be reading through the Oz books at the planned rate of one a month, chapter a day, because the vast majority of the books are under 30 chapters. So I should be able to get through a chapter a day because they're not terribly long either, and they're not difficult reads. So each week, in addition to FlossTube, I'm going to start doing what I'm calling OzTube. And I will be discussing what I've read of the books up to that point. Now, on the one hand, some of the books I've read. I've read the first 4. I've read half of the 5th. I've read the 7th book. I've read the 9th book. I've read the 11th book. 11th, 12th, and 13th books. Yes. Haven't read the others, haven't read any of the Ruth Plumley Thompsons. So, some of them you're actually going to get a whole lot of, well, what's coming? I don't really know how they're going to get out of this. So that's going to be what that's going to become. Because I'm quickly running out of just items that I can pick up and go, oh, look at this. This is what this is. So that's actually going to be what I'm going to start doing. They're going to be separate videos, so if you have an interest, you're more than welcome to watch them. But, so it's going to probably cut a couple of minutes off of my FlossTube videos, but that's what I'm going to kind of do. So, there you go. Alright, I'm technically skipping the one that should have been this week's item to save it for next week, since that's going to be the last of the Oz items in FlossTube. I wanted it to be the one that I liked better. So, but it's in a similar vein to this one. But this is the Cut and Assemble Emerald City of Oz, also from Dover, and I believe still in print. And it's literally a cut and assemble Emerald City. You get the pieces, and you cut and assemble on green poster board. So, and there are little figures, so you could do little bitty sort of stories throughout if you so chose. Some of the doors do open. There's a little welcome mat outside of Emerald City. And in the throne room, if I can find its panel, the doors open, or the palace, I should say, and oh, I thought it did, but it doesn't. It has a throne for sure. I thought it actually had the wizard's head on the throne, but I guess it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But it's got, I mean, it's got toy stores. It's got all sorts of cute little things. So it's a cute little three-dimensional. There's the inside, so you see the throne, but that's it. Which makes sense, because Ozma's also in here, so they probably didn't want to alienate Ozma out. That would make sense. But there you go. Cut and assemble Emerald City of Oz. So those of you a little more familiar with the Dover catalog will probably know what the last one's going to be, especially if you know me. But if not, I think it's kind of a fun little treat. So, anyhow, I think that's kind of it. So, y'all have a great day. Have a Merry Christmas if my Lowry stand or something doesn't come in before then. And I will see you all... Oh, I guess next week is Christmas. Oh, I'll be... I can't promise I'll have a video on the 25th, but I'll probably have one on the 26th. So, Merry Christmas, and... or Happy Holidays if you are if you're secular, if you don't believe in Christmas. Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. I believe, like, we already passed that, but I don't quite know for sure, and I'm really terrible. Sorry. So, anyhow, have a good one, everybody.